Hi, my name is Mike Ward. I'm the Global Director of Content at InVivo, Script and The Pink Sheet. We're here at the Biotech Showcase in San Francisco, a meeting that takes place adjacent to the JP Morgan meeting, which happens in January of every year. It's an opportunity where pharmaceutical companies, biotech companies and investors all get an opportunity to see each other, talk to each other and sort of exchange views, and also review what happened in the previous year and also share or preview their expectations in the coming year. I'm joined by Stephen Isaac, who's the chairman and CEO of Aduro Biotech, which is a Californian based.
Well, California and Europe, actually. We're in Austin, the Netherlands. That's where our antibody activity is.
Okay.
Right.
So Stephen, so last year you guys were looking at your programs, and one program you decided not to pursue any further, and you're moving on forward with a new one. Can you just sort of explain,
Sure.
What happened last year and the sort of the decisions you had to take?
Yeah, well, let me just start with kind of a high-level description of Aduro Biotech. So we're an immuno-oncology company focusing mostly in cancer, but we also work in infectious disease and autoimmunity. We've got three major platforms. One's in Listeria, that's for stimulating an immune response and modifying this bacteria so it's safe for giving a billion colony-forming units to people. The other's in a very exciting area called STING, that stands for stimulation of interferon genes. It's a new pathway that we pioneered, and we got a $750 million deal with Novartis, $250 million up front based on preclinical data. And the third is what I was referring to with OS. That's our monoclonal antibody company, actually working with the people who developed Keytruda. So what you're referring to is within those three platforms, the one based on Listeria, we did stop one trial. We have other ongoing trials in that area. We have a personalized therapy we call PLAD, that stands for live attenuated double deleted Listeria. So, in biotech, not everything works. We've had many things that do work. That one particular, it was a CRS-207 program and 3 different indications. So, we just carry on basically with all the other things that we have going on.
So the programs you've got, the STING program, for example, that's partnered with Novartis, you said?
Yeah, exactly.
So could you sort of explain, what is actually happening with those programs at the moment?
Sure. So STING again stands for Stimulator of Interferon Genes, and we have a very strong organic chemistry group at Aduro. I'm actually trained as an organic chemistry a long time ago, organic chemist. And so we make these molecules to stimulate the STING receptor, and this sets up both an innate and an adaptive immune response. And we can actually inject tumors, and then we get what's known as an abscopal effect. So you not only treat the tumor you inject, but you set up this broad immune reaction. You send CD8 T cells all over the body, and they act as sort of an army going out and finding the tumors and get rid of them. So where we're at in that is, as I'm sure you know, in clinical trials, the first thing you do is a monotherapy trial looking for safety. We're well into that with Novartis with our lead compound called ADUS-100. And then we recently started a combination trial, and this is using ADUS-100. That's the specific molecule we synthesize in combination with a checkpoint inhibitor. So I'm sure you're familiar with Keytruda, nivolumab, things like that. So Novartis has their own version, so we're doing that combination, and we're about to start yet another combination trial with ipilimumab or anti-CTLA-4. So all these agents work together, and we're very optimistic we're going to see some very interesting results.
So that STING deal, when was that?
So that was signed right before our IPO, so we did it in March of 2015. So it was an exceptional deal, one of the biggest preclinical deals ever done, with $250 million up front, another $500 million in development milestones. A lot of these biotech deals, they sound very large, but they're commercial milestones way out. These are for actual development, starting clinical trials, getting things, regulatory applications filed. And it's co-commercialization, co-development. So we are actually 50-50 partners with Novartis, and we will run everything that happens in the United States, which is a very important thing. And our aspiration to vertically integrate and become a standalone biopharmaceutical company with our own suite of products and sales force.
So in co-commercialization, are you already beginning to build a commercial infrastructure?
So we have 3 commercial people at the company right now, yes, and we're looking at that.
Right, okay. And they're, what are they doing at the moment?
So they help with corporate development activities, portfolio planning, and things like that. And then, we're looking downstream to when hopefully these, products become approved and we actually take them out.
So the STING program, which phase is that in now? That's still in phase 1?
Those are both phase 1 trials, and they will hopefully turn into phase 2 trials pretty rapidly. But the thing is, you now, if you get good data in earlier phase trials, you can actually get conditional approval and that sort of thing. And so
what sort of timeline are we looking at?
So we're looking next probably 3 years or so, something like that.
Right, okay. 3 years from now?
Yes.
Okay, so that's on the STING program, and then the other.
So we have 2 other programs. One we call B-Select monoclonal antibodies. So these are antibodies that go after specific targets that are important in cancer. So one of the drugs is called ipilimumab. That's the BMS drug. So we have a drug that is very similar to ipilimumab that we're hoping to partner with others who may be interested. We want to have that in our own sort of basket or under our own umbrella for pricing control, because these combinations could get very expensive. So we feel if we have all the agents that can be used together under our control, we can have something to say about pricing. Another is called APRIL, that stands for a proliferation-inducing ligand. So this has just gone into the clinic at Harvard University, actually at the Dana-Farber, with a guy named Ken Anderson, who's sort of the godfather of multiple myeloma. And this may have extended applications into cutaneous T-cell lymphoma, into colorectal cancer, and also into something called IgA nephropathy. So it's very broad, and this technology called B-Select gives very exquisitely specific antibodies, and so we can make antibodies to a large variety of targets.
And those programs, have you got partners already lined up for them?
We have a partner so B-Select is a technology that can produce antibodies. So we do have an arrangement with Merck to make, we made an anti-CD27, which should become a clinical program.
That's Merck, the US Merck?
Yes, US Merck, and that's about a $500 million deal potential to us, and most of those are development dollars, not commercial dollars. And so we've already received several milestones under that agreement, and that'll proceed.
Right. So Novartis and Merck.
Right. And then Janssen. So we partnered with Janssen to make 2 constructs, one for prostate cancer and another for non-small cell lung cancer. So those deals were done in 2014 before we actually became a public company. The lung cancer deal is going into, so that was to make something called ADU-214. It's a specific construct of Listeria monocytogenes. So we take that bacteria, we take out a couple of genes to make it safe to give to people, and then we put in genes for other antigens that occur on either prostate cancer or on lung cancer. So the idea is to stimulate an immune response to any cells in the body that contain those antigens. So the lung cancer trial is proceeding. It's in a phase 1b/2. That'll be a combination of this vector ADU-214 with nivolumab from Bristol Myers. And that trial, could be a very short path to registration. If we can improve the current results one gets.
And the timeline for that, the readouts?
So the phase 1 was reported at the World Lung Conference in October, and the phase 1b/2, probably we should know something about it in the next 12 months or so. But that's really Janssen's trial, so I can't speak for them.
Okay, so 2018, apart from the sort of the clinical development of these programs, what else is on the horizon at Aduro?
So we have a lot of research programs going on. We work in something called STING antagonists, so that's for autoimmune diseases in which the immune system is overstimulated, basically, like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. And then there's some smaller orphan indications. So we have a major program to discover compounds which can be used to shut STING off. Like in cancer, what you try and do is turn STING on to get this immune response, but if it's overdone and overstimulated, then you get autoimmunity. So that's an ongoing program that's very important to us, and then several earlier programs as well.
And so therefore, and to be able to, fulfill those ambitions, I mean, do you have enough, financial capital to be able to support
So
that?
we reported at the end of Q3 of last year that we had $374 million in the bank. So it's about a third of $1 billion to carry us forward. That's enough cash to go through the end of 2020 into early 2021, not counting the milestones that we've lined up, remembering the $500 million from Novartis for starting various clinical trials and things like that. So yeah, I think we're well, in very good shape, and we're not looking to raise any money for quite some time.
And are you looking to add any new technologies or new assets?
Yeah, I mean, we have a very active business development group, and we're always scanning the horizon for what might be out there because we are very well funded. We have some extra resources based on stopping the trials that you mentioned at the beginning of the interview, and so yeah, we're looking. So.
Right, and so what kind of assets would you be in the market for?
I think immuno-oncology is a very hot field, very popular. So you have a lot of companies. I mean, we've been doing this since 2002. So I started at another company called Cirrus back in 1991, and our cancer vaccine in the day with Drew Pardoll and Jim Allison and Suzanne Topalian and people like that, immunotherapy wasn't popular in the day. So we've been carrying this flag for a long time, and so we now immuno-oncology is the rage. Everybody wants to be in immuno-oncology companies, and now I think the time is to look at other things that aren't necessarily IO. Because there's some very good stuff in targeted therapy, precision medicine that is out there, and so we're looking at the whole the whole field.
Okay, right. Okay. Well, Stephen, thanks very much.
All right, thanks very much.
Coming back.
Okay.
Cheers.